Welcome to Quantum Finance. My name is Parker. I'm the head trader here, but I am not a financial advisor, and this is not financial advice. So, in today's video, we'll take a look at the economic calendar, we'll go over some news, and then we'll do our market recap and market analysis. So, there was no significant economic data drop today, so we can look at the calendar for next week. So, on Tuesday, we get CPI, Wednesday, we get the PPI and the Federal Reserve interest rate decision, and Thursday, we get core retail sales, initial jobless claims, the Fed manufacturing index, and retail sales. So next week is going to be huge. Next week is definitely going to move markets, especially with CPI coming the day before the Federal Reserve interest rate decision. So I would expect next week to be pretty volatile. So now we can look at some news. So here we have the intraday to put call ratio has reached levels not seen here since July of 2021. As you can see, investors are loading up on call options as the market is moving higher. Here we have Binance US announcing they are halting all USD deposits. We also have Coinbase's CEO Brian Armstrong saying they will not delist tokens deemed securities by the SEC and has no plans to phase out its staking service. But they did delist XRP on January 19th after the SEC sued them. So, it's just kind of ridiculous there. They definitely need to relist XRP if they really want to make a stand against the SEC. So here we have the U.S. announcing a further $2 billion in military aid to Ukraine. I don't even know how much it is at this point. It's got to be hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, maybe even close to $1 trillion sent to Ukraine. I don't know. It's just, I feel like every other week they're just sending a ton of money over there. We also have Russia's largest bank, I don't even know how to pronounce that, offer crypto trading services. So now we can do our market recap here, starting with the debt market, looking at the U.S. 10-year yield, getting a green day today in the 2-year yield. Not too much crazy action here, just sitting in the upper end of his daily range. Looking at the dollar, as you can see, green day here in the dollar after that big red day we got yesterday, poking back up above that midline, kind of right there at that level, pulling down into that midline here on the weekly chart. Looking at the stock market, we do have a slight red day today, but as you can see, green on the percent change. Because we did get a nice gap up and breakout here out of this range we've been in all week. Like I said in yesterday's videos, Fridays have been stronger, but as you see, we did kind of get a big rejection off this upper extreme here on the daily chart, which also lined up with that upper extreme here on the weekly chart as well. Actually this was this previous high here from August. So yeah, there was a lot of resistance up here at that level. Turning to cryptocurrencies, we have Bitcoin with a small red day today. Not too much action, still just kind of consolidating here in the lower end of this daily range. Still trying to figure out what it wants to do after all this business with the SEC suing all these large exchanges. As you can see here on the weekly chart, just still pulling into that midline, still sitting there above it. Definitely looking for a weekly close above that level. Turning to XRP, we do have a nice green day here in XRP. XRP continuing to outperform the market. As you can see, kind of looking like it wants to maybe break out here, make a push to the upside. And maybe we can get a breakout out of this range. If you look over here at the weekly chart, we do want to see weekly closes above these previous two highs here. Make our way back up here towards 90 cents. So XRP definitely looking nice. Turning to commodities, we have oil getting a red day here and oil getting rejected off that midline here. Still sitting down here at the lower end of the daily range, but we are pretty squeezed here on the daily chart. Turning to gold, we do have a red day here in gold after kind of poking up through that midline, getting rejected at that level. Still just kind of consolidating here. Does look like it wants to start squeezing here pretty soon. Turning to silver, we do have a slight green day here in silver with a pretty decent wick to the upside, running into this previous resistance here from Tuesday, April 25th. Getting back down inside that upper extreme. Now we can do our market analysis. We'll start with the volume here on the S&P 500 Spider ETF here. As you can see, large volume day today, getting above that vol average, but majority selling coming in, as we did run into those that significant resistance level here from August, which also lined up with those upper extremes on both the daily and weekly chart. Still a nice breakout here on the weekly RSI. Starting to get pretty overbought to the upside though. We can look at our 3-minute chart here. As you can see, getting that nice gap up this morning, breaking out of that significant range we've been in all week, getting a strong push off the open, pulling back here into that lower extreme, getting a bounce off that level before getting a squeeze to the downside, working down below the open and yesterday's highs, catching a bid down here with, kind of a triple bottom action off this lower extreme, getting back up to VWAP, kind of getting rejected at that level, and then closing right there below the open and right there above that significant resistance level. Okay, and zoom out here. As you see here on the 15-minute chart, we did break out of that significant range we've been in all week with a nice push to the upside. Getting back inside that upper extreme here, but getting a pretty aggressive sell-off back down inside that level. But as you can see, holding it still into the close. Looking at the 2-hour chart here, as you can see, we got our extension to the upside. I'm kind of curling back down here on momentum. Now we can look at the VIX and the NASDAQ. As you can see, the VIX kind of looking like it wants to make a bottoming structure here. The market is moving higher, but as you can see, momentum in the VIX is picking up, getting really close to that zero line. Remember yesterday's video, I did say we were starting to form a lot more green candles in here. So I maybe would kind of expect this to be some type of short-term bottom here in the VIX. Maybe before I move back up here towards this, previous low and this gap level. Looking at the NASDAQ here, as you can see, chopping around in this range, getting a gap up this morning, running into these previous highs here from earlier in the week, getting rejected at that level and pulling down into this previous gap up. As you can see, kind of getting rejected here on momentum near that zero line. Now we can talk about some trades here. We'll go to our 1-minute chart. Pull up our drawings. So this was a significant breakout here with our gap up this morning. So honestly, it was a really good trade to just buy here at the open after getting that retest here of the open itself and then getting back above VWAP. Just getting long in here on this very significant weekly breakout would have been a nice trade opportunity for long, just to ride the trade up. And then as you can see, we did get this ascending channel here with our breakdown here. As you see, the breakdown, the retest with a momentum shift squeeze to the downside after getting rejected up here off this upper extreme on the 15-minute and the 5-minute. So this would have been a nice opportunity here for a short just back down to the VWAP area. Now, as you see, just really volatile action up in here. Then we did get another squeeze to the downside here at about 12 o'clock, as you can see, with a head and shoulders pattern with your left shoulder, your head, and then your right shoulder with your neckline, getting your neckline breakdown retest here, which was right at the open. So you did have a nice bearish reversal candle here at the open. So this could have been a nice opportunity, just to fade down to these previous lows or look for new lows on the day. And then we also had another squeeze about 30 minutes later here. We did have a rising wedge pattern running into the open with a momentum shift squeeze to the downside. So you had a bearish pattern with a bearish squeeze to the downside. So this could have been a nice opportunity, just for another short back down to retest these lows. We did have another squeeze here, but not really the greatest pattern, as you see, just getting a trend reversal with a momentum shift squeeze to the upside above the open. So, the chart was like fairly bullish on the day, even though we did get this bearish action. I wasn't expecting it to really break down too hard. You can even kind of draw this like larger kind of pattern here. This larger kind of descending triangle pattern as you're getting a reversal here. You could have taken advantage of this momentum shift squeeze to the upside above the open for, continuation up here towards the VWAP area. And then the only really other decent kind of pattern or squeeze here, we did pull back into the open with a bear pennant. As you can see, getting a reversal to the upside with a momentum shift squeeze to the upside here. Could have been, not the best trade, but, just if you were scalping, just a quick scalp back up to VWAP. So yeah, pretty wild week this week, really choppy, really range bound until today. But we were not able to hold the breakout as we did run into these previous highs here from August, which is a very significant resistance level. So yeah, we did get a big rejection off that level with a lot of selling coming in. So it'll definitely be interesting to see what happens next week, because we do have CPI and the Fed interest rate decision, which is, very significant news and catalyst to move the market. And it might be the kind of the catalyst we need to get through this level, or it will be the catalyst that just gives us a big rejection back to the downside here. So yeah, next week is going to be huge because we are sitting at a very, very key level here in the stock market. We either are looking for a breakout and just a full moonshot recovery here, or we would be looking for a big rejection at this level, depending on what the Federal Reserve says next week. But yeah, that'll do it for the video. Appreciate y'all watching, and I'll talk to y'all later.